We'll try that one more time. Good morning! All right, families, friends, faculty, staff, students, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2025. Welcome to the Washington State School of Appliance graduation ceremony. My name is Sean McCormick, and I've had the privilege and honor of being the Director of On-Campus Programs for the past 10 years, and I feel lucky to be at this incredible school. At this time, I ask all of you to please rise as we welcome our graduates into the room. Please remain standing as I invite you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Senior Lisbeth Meza. The flag is located on the right side of the stage if you are in the audience. With humility, we recognize that the land and waters of Vancouver, Washington hold the ancestral and present-day ties to the Cayuse, Umatilla, Walla Walla, Cowlitz, Multnomah, Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, and Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Nation, Siletz Indians. Rooted in WSSB's history of education, we make a commitment to honor and learn, deepening relationships to the land through shared experiences as we steward this place with care. May these actions grow reciprocity, respect, and kinship with the Indigenous communities who continue to nurture these lands. Wherever you reside, let this acknowledgement move beyond words by considering how your daily actions honor the original stewards of this land. I'd like to welcome all of you again and thank you for joining us to celebrate this graduation day for WSSB's class of 2025. Today, we celebrate not only the completion of high school, but the courage, growth, and resilience of this extraordinary group of students. Whether you're joining us in person or virtually, thank you for being here to honor this significant milestone. At this time, a few of our students would like to share their messages with you. So I'd like to invite Senior Gabe Adoro. And yes, you may be seated. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Okay.
Bittersweet. A term best described by one of my best friends, ChatGPT, as a feeling of both happiness and sadness, joy and melancholy. A memory that you might look on in 10 or 15 years with a lot of, pride, but also a twinge of sadness. I'd like to acknowledge that I feel extremely bittersweet. This is an extremely bittersweet moment for me. Because the class of 2025 is probably one of the most resilient, one of the most strong-minded, strong-willed, passionate group of people that I've ever met. To the class of 2025, I would like to say, congratulations, you guys. We made it. We are up here. We are up here doing something that, personally, I never thought I would see myself doing in a million years. Although, to be totally honest, when I was a kid, I did think I was going to be alive for a million years because you're a kid. Also, to the class of 2025, I would like to say that if you guys are anything like me, you guys are experiencing a little bit of trepidation on exactly what it is that is going to happen to you guys after high school. Dear fellow warrior, you are absolutely not alone. But let me give you guys some statistics that would maybe help in calming your minds down a little bit. The average age of our class is only 18.5 years, meaning that everything that most of us have ever done in our entire existences on planet Earth can be condensed down to 18 years. People in the audience would know this. Some of you maintain jobs for longer than 18 years. Some of you have bought your first house that you're still living in more than 18 years ago. The next time you're 18, like the next time you've lived another 18 years on this planet, you'll be 36. So imagine just how many times you will be 18 in your life. You still have so much to go. Before I leave you guys, I would like to acknowledge and thank a few people in this crowd and a few people that are watching virtually probably. And I'd like to start out with all of the family who has managed to come. My mom, my aunt, my cousins, my family friends who, to be totally honest, I consider like extremely good family. Thank you all for coming. I'd also like to acknowledge a few of the staff here at WSSB who have gotten me as far as I am today. And without them, I'm sure I wouldn't be the person I am. I'd like to start out with acknowledging Ms. Angela Henrich. the most non-biased and friendly way possible. Give it up for Miss Angela. Miss Ashley Woodruff. Guiding hands and words of encouragement have helped me navigate the world in ways that I never thought I would. Thank you, Miss Ashley. Mr. Jared Miller Price. Who's right off the bat, friendly demeanor and abrasive amount of tattoos. You wouldn't think, with that in mind, you wouldn't think that he was a algebra teacher of all things. But if you've known him for a long enough period of time, his friendly demeanor would make you want him as an older sibling. Thank you, Jerry. Dr. Christopher Benfield. Your easy smile, quick wit, and humorous nature are literally what inspires me to do what I want to do and go through college for what I want to go through college for. Thank you, Dr. Benfield. And lastly, but not leastly, Miss Rebecca Gullickson. Your love, passion, and care for things in this world, both big and small, are one of the biggest inspirations to me. Thank you, Miss G. And again, just before I leave, I'd like to send a special thank you to someone who unfortunately could not make it, as for being 4,000 miles away. But I hope to bridge the gap. I could tell you a short story about him. Before I do, though, to my dad, mi quero mandar danki masya pabo, paso sing abo, ising ito sang kubang kontami, minolota na mitao. Yesen itaurabo. People, I remember this one day. I was 9 years old, and my dad calls me out into the kitchen, into the dining room where we were, and he basically says to me that the world is not going to back down. So you have to give from the world what you get from it. Be as passionate as you want the world, as the passion that you want from the world. The point of this story, dear readers, the point of the story, dear listeners, is to say that if you want something, of course, some of us in here won't be able to be brain surgeons, but if you want to achieve something in your life, you have to give to the world what you want from it. All this being said, the last and definitely most important thank you is to a little bit of everyone in turn. Because everyone on this stage and everyone in those stands have affected me in some way, shape, or form. And whether that be positive or negative, I really only have one final message. Thank you.
As you may have noticed in the program, we did a little swap, and we're starting with student speeches, and we're switching that with the slideshow. Next up, we have Sadie Stevens.
Let's go. Okay. This is terrifying. Not gonna lie, I'm scared, but it's okay.
You got the mic?
Hi. Okay. So I still remember the first day. How these hallways felt too big, and I felt way too small. I carried so many questions that I never knew how to ask. I got good at getting so lost in the first month, I started giving people tours. And here on your left, we have the wall I ran into. Again. And somehow between getting lost and getting through, I learned things no textbook could ever teach me. Like how to speak up, how to listen, how to keep going even though I felt very unsure. I fell in love with biology, but not just with the facts, but for how the way jellyfish move like they know how to float through chains. Something that I was definitely learning to do too. The real lessons came in the quiet moments. A teacher who believed in me, a friend who stayed, a lunch table that felt like home when everything else didn't. These walls didn't just give me knowledge. They taught me how to see myself and how to stay soft and strong at the same time. And to the girl who walked in afraid, look at us now. We're stepping forward with open eyes and a heart full of everything we didn't know we were learning. They say the future is bright, which is great because some of us are already wearing our cool shades. Congrats, class of 2025. We did it, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
All right, we're not going to stop there with Eric Alanis.
Graduation isn't just about walking across the stage. That's one of the main points of it. But it's also about the late nights, the hard challenges we've had to go through with COVID, long tests, and long late nights that we put on ourselves with procrastination, which I know very much about. I would like to thank a few people who helped me get to where I am today. To a few specific teachers, to Ms. G. Thank you for always believing in me when I didn't believe in myself with reading and writing, and showing me that I had a strong passion for it, and had a love and wanted to keep writing. Now I stand here wanting to read and write and do all of that goes into reading and writing. Next, Angela Hendrich. Thank you for teaching me history, and for teaching me English, and for letting me fall asleep that one time in your class after cascading. Thank you for also always believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. To Jerry. Thank you for teaching me math and helping me understand the concepts that I didn't understand before. And thank you for always being a fun, motivating, and encouraging teacher and coach. Now to Dr. Benfield. Thank you for helping me keep my passion for music and growing in my knowledge in philosophy and in the theory of music. Even when I didn't think, or even when I may not have paid attention, I did pay attention. I remember what you taught me. Or I still remember what you taught me. Next, I would like to thank the coach, to all my coaches I've had. It's a long list, so I'm just going to say all of their names. Jerry Harrington, Richardson, Angela, Oshiro, and Coach Eric. Thank you for always motivating me and providing an outlet where I was able to be myself and be a part of a team aspect. Thank you for always allowing me the space for me to be me and do what I like to do, which is sports. To my friends, thank you for always being there for me and thank you for always listening when I had a rant session, or when we just all hanged out at the mall multiple times, or on late night calls. Those are the best memories that I'll cherish forever. Finally, my family. Thank you for always being there when I didn't feel like I was there myself. Through my vision troubles, through all the hardships that I've been through, and through all the in-betweens. Thank you for always believing in me and trusting me to make my decisions and write my own story. Now for some advice to the future seniors who will be seniors in less than 3 months. Senior year may feel taunting. It felt like that the first time I entered the door. But you can do anything you put your mind to. You can chase your dreams and be the kind of person you want to leave the legacy behind. That you want to leave your legacy behind. Finally, I would like to give a final piece of advice to the future freshmen. It may feel daunting at times to start high school in a few months. That's how I felt. You can push yourself and be who you want to be. It's your time to write your story and write your chapter book. Be your own voice, be your own self. Be who you want to be after high school. Be the person that your friends and teachers want to be around. Even when that may feel hard at times, you can do it. You can do anything and feel confident in your thoughts and in your abilities and in your confidence. Finally, before I get off the stage, I'd like to say thank you to the class of 2025. You guys have been my best friends from day one, from the beginning of high school, basically. Thank you. We've all been through the ups and downs for some of us, wearing masks during band class for freshman year, and playing through them. And then some of us doing study sessions at the mall because we didn't want to study here anymore. and then thank you for always being there for me and for always being a person to lean on. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite Tori Eastman.
You got this. Go, Tori.
Thank you to all the teachers who have gotten me here, such as Angela Kimmich. Angela helped me become who I am today by showing me that it's okay to be non-binary and just how awesome Angela truly is. I really appreciate that they helped me become who I am today. Thank you, Angela.
Next, we have Charles Johnson.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me now? All right, good. I prepared a short speech, and but I just want to say to everybody, my fellow classmates, my students, and my peers and faculty, thank you. I really appreciate all the work you guys have done. In the musical Hamilton, the character Aaron Burr sings a song, "The Room Where It Happens." He is singing about his frustration from being excluded from a crucial government decision. And it is a song about Burr's political ambitions, highlighting his role as the villain in Hamilton's story. However, when I heard the song, my takeaway was how important it is to be included, and sometimes we have to find a way to put ourselves in a position in the room where our voices are heard. We're graduating into a world where diversity, equity, and inclusion are not guaranteed. However, we can enter the room on our merit and then hold the door open to include others. I hope we all leave WSSB proud of our accomplishments and with our white canes in hand, because there is no shame in being blind. I am grateful for all the experiences, opportunities, and people I have met over the years. It is an uncertain world, and our only thing we can control is our effort. But I am confident that we deserve to be in the room where it happens. If one of us gets there first, please save a seat, because we all deserve an opportunity to be included. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to raise the mic. Last but not least is Philip Zelenkov.
Hello, everyone. I would like to make my message short and sweet, but I would like to thank all the staff, all the administration, all my fellow students, all the graduates, all the students that are going to continue on coming to WSSB, but I would like to leave a message and stand as an example of that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. If you are able to graduate school, I think anything is possible. I think my final message that I would like to leave you all with is just try your best. Put all 100% of your effort in anything you do. Don't use your disabilities or anything as an excuse. Make it as something that would help you work harder. Because for us, as visually impaired or blind, we need to work harder than any other person that isn't blind or doesn't have any disabilities. So I would say use that as a pathway for you to just go towards success and try your 100% effort in anything you do. So that would be my message. But the thank yous that I would like to give out is to all the staff, all the administration, the principal. Thank you, Mr. McCormick, for everything you've done, for accepting me into the school and helping me throughout these years. Miss Langley, I would like to thank Miss Langley very, very much. I would also like to thank Miss Harrington, Miss Taylor, and Miss Joe for helping me finish up this last few months and being able to turn in all my work and being able to graduate and stand up here with my fellow students. I would also like to thank Angela, Jerry, Ms. Butcher, Mr. Trimble, Mr. Oshiro, and I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anyone, but all my staff, all the staff that is here, all my teachers, I would like to thank you all, and thank you for coming to graduation, and I hope that I can leave this place and leave a good message for all the students and be able to move on with my life, and thank you.
Well, Mr. McCallum, our superintendent, was regretfully unable to be here with us today. Though we know that he is here with us in heart and mind, and he sent these words of congratulations, appreciation, and advice for me to share on his behalf. First, congratulations to the class of 2025. Graduating from high school is a milestone accomplishment, one of many for each of you across your lifetime. I know that each of you worked incredibly hard to get to this point, though in many ways, this is just the beginning. Take it all in. Enjoy the moment. Be proud. And know that you can accomplish anything with determination, hard work, the right tools, and great support. These are the same attributes that allowed you to be successful at WSSB, and perhaps one or more of these important ingredients was missing or inadequate before you made the decision to become a WSSB Lion. Be sure to recognize, appreciate, and thank those who make up your support system. Having a network of support will be a critical element of your success throughout your lifetime, especially during times of challenge, difficulty, or strain. Be sure to thank your parents, your siblings, or perhaps your aunts, uncles, grandpas, grandmas, for the support they provided to you to get to this point. Be sure to say thank you to your friends for an absolutely critical role they played in supporting your success. Recognize and appreciate the special role that your teachers, teaching assistants, office, and other school staff, such as residential life counselors, nurses, food service, custodians, or even the vice principal or principal, provided to you, that you successfully reached and crossed this important finish line. I think Helen Keller said it best. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. With that in mind, Mr. McCallum would like to recognize and thank our WSSB Board of Trustees and ex officio board members who provide their valuable time, guidance, and unyielding support for the success of our agency, school, and most importantly, the individuals and families we serve. Our Board of Trustees and ex officio board members represent the 10 congressional districts of Washington. Our incredible teachers and classified union partners, parents of blind and low vision children, the National Federation of the Blind, the Washington Council of the Blind, and of course, you, our students. Mr. McCallum would like to take this opportunity to recognize and thank the student advisory representative, one of our graduating seniors, who served as an ex officio member on the board this year, Mr. Gabe Maduro. Thank you, Gabe. You have a bright future ahead of you. Yeah! You did a wonderful job representing your fellow classmates.
I try.
Congratulations to the class of 2025. Our mission centers around student empowerment. Empowerment is the process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. May each of you be empowered to live the life you want to live. We believe in you. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Corey Grandstaff, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Associate Director of Residential and Transition Programs here at WSSB. Before I introduce the speaker, I just want to say, Gabe, thank you for the math. I realized that also 18 years ago was my graduation from high school, so it's my honor to recognize our keynote speaker today. Dr. Hobie Wedler is a chemist, entrepreneur, and sensory expert who has been blind since birth. With a passion for innovation and inclusivity, Hobie earned his PhD in organic chemistry from UC Davis and has gone on to found several impactful ventures, from science camps for blind youth to sensory-based product development and a global tasting experience in partnership with Francis Ford Coppola. Recognized by President Obama as a champion of change and named to Forbes 30 Under 30, Hobie is a motivational speaker and creative force dedicated to helping others turn dreams into reality. Through his work, he blends sensory insight, scientific knowledge, and a deep love for teaching to inspire people around the world. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Hobie Wedler.
Well, thank you, Corey. Where's the mic? There it is. Thank you so much, Corey. And I just want to say my highest congratulations to the WSSB graduating class of 2025. You've done it! Woo! So the best way that I like to approach life and approach speaking and approach all these things is just to tell stories. Sure, I'll throw some advice and tips and insight in there, but I think let's just hang out for a few minutes and tell stories. Tell stories to one another. So I'm a chemist, but I'm also an avid food explorer. I'm a sensory storyteller, and I'm a sensory explorer of the world around me. I grew up in a little town north of San Francisco, California, called Petaluma. And one fact about Petaluma is that we are known as the egg capital of the world, because we used to produce eggs for all of the San Francisco Bay Area, and those eggs, because of a beautiful river that we had, were shipped all over the country and all over the world using the waterways of the United States, and they were even sent out to Asia. So with that in mind, I want to talk about 3 ways that we might think about cooking an egg. The first way that we might cook an egg is to scramble it. When we scramble an egg, speaking of our wonderful food service people, we produce something that is delicious, for sure, but very homogeneous. It's one mixture that we have, right? And it's soft, it's nice, but it's not as exciting, to me anyway, as other ways of cooking eggs. The second way that we can explore cooking an egg is by frying it. Frying eggs is a good way to cook them. We make and break disulfide bonds in the protein-rich egg whites, and the yolk sometimes firms up a little bit, but they're still delicate, and they break immediately if they're dropped or poked with a fork. And they can break when they're going into the pan. Let's consider a third way of cooking an egg, and that is to prepare the egg sous vide. Sous vide, spelled S-O-U-S-V-I-D, is a French method of cooking eggs, or cooking anything, at a constant temperature, usually a low temperature, for a longer period of time. So when we cook a sous vide egg at about 125 degrees for about 20 minutes, it is allowed to come to temperature slowly. We form disulfide bonds and we break others. We create something that is uniquely delicious and uniquely itself, and something that tastes soft and delicate and nothing like ever you've tasted before. The white is soft and pliable. The yolk is rich, slightly runny, and oh so creamy. When I think about the water that transforms those eggs into beautiful sous vide eggs and transforms them into something that is so different than how they began, I can't help but compare that water to the beautiful environment which has been created here at Washington State School for the Blind. That is what we are all about. This school, this incredible state school, fosters creativity through art and science and woodworking, incredible ways of mastering orientation mobility. Most of you graduating and most students here are what I would consider advanced travelers. You start here not hardly knowing how to walk outside your cottage and get from one place to another, and you leave traveling super complex bus routes. Seniors, I want you to think about your capstone projects. Whew, a lot of work, a little scary, but so much fun to explore. And now that they're done, we're going to come back to this point in a few minutes. But now that they're done, and now that you've challenged yourself to take that on and run with it, think of how good it feels. WSSB, much like the sous vide water of the eggs, provides a safe place for us to feel uncomfortable. You guys did a lot of amazing, amazing work here as elementary school students, middle schoolers, and now high school schoolers. And what you're embarking on now is the beginning of a very exciting journey where, sadly, but also in an exciting way, you won't necessarily have all the support that you had here for these years at WSSB. As Mr. McCormick may have said before to you, you're entering the school of life, which is the big world where we as blind people do have to work harder and push ourselves even harder than we ever thought possible. That's the reality of it, and that is what we do, and that is what makes life special and exciting and fun. And we do that through resilience, taking on challenges every step of the way, not asking if something's possible, but how it's possible, and running through life with a positive attitude of educating people around us, not yelling at them and telling them what we need. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Petaluma, California, and I had amazing, amazing parents. They could have taken two attitudes. They could have wrapped me in bubble wrap and had super low expectations. Or, yeah, I hear it. Or they could have said, hey man, this is your life. Go do it in your best way possible. And I am so lucky they took the latter of those two. I grew up and I had the same chores, maybe slightly different chores, but the work ethic and the expectations were identical for me and my sighted brother. And that made the world to me. It made everything go round, that I was able to do things and was expected to do things just the same as he was. Made the world a special, amazing place where I had to take responsibility for my life and my actions. If I did well at something and succeeded at it, it was mine to celebrate. If I failed, I had to take the blame for it. I want to ask you all to take life and responsibility into your own hands, starting today, and take responsibility for everything you encounter and everything you do. and every up, down, and in between in life. This is your life, and the world is your oyster. Or shall I say, the world is your eggshell. I fell in love with chemistry in high school. Because of a great high school honors chemistry instructor, I was motivated to want to teach chemistry at freshman level college. That was my passion. I wanted to teach chemistry in college. My chemistry instructor in high school was an amazing mentor, but she didn't know how I would necessarily succeed in chemistry. She would say things like, Hobie, chemistry is great. It's what we live, it's what we eat, it's what we drink, it's what we breathe. And I would say, Lee, I want to study chemistry beyond just the prerequisite in college. And she would say, oh, this is too impractical for you. I don't know how it's going to work. And I said, I've got to be able to show her that chemistry is possible for anyone. People who are blind, people who are sighted, and anywhere in between. And I remember the day like it was yesterday when I went into her classroom. It was the second week of the second semester. It was a cold January California day. And I went into her classroom early in the morning when I knew she would be prepping for the day and there wouldn't be other students around. And I said, you know, Lee, I know that you think chemistry is not practical for me. But the truth is that nobody can see atoms. We might use our eyesight to understand something that's happening in the lab, whether it's a color change or a gas being evolved or any of these things. But truly, chemistry is in our mind. It is cerebral. I went on to study at the University of California, Davis, where I had countless mentors, including who would become my graduate advisor, Professor Dean Tantillo, my incredible tutor and assistant all the way through Sarah Cohen, Ryan Pemberton, who's an amazing colleague in graduate school, just to name a few. But there are countless other ones where those came from. And they believed in me because I made working with me fun. I didn't make it feel burdensome, like, oh, how are we going to accommodate this person coming in and yelling and griping about my accommodations and how they weren't doing things right. I would say, I'll show you what it's like to work with a blind person if you're willing to teach me chemistry in exchange. And they love that attitude, and I can think of one instructor to this day out of probably 70 to 80 who I interacted with who never really believed that I could do what I wanted to do in chemistry. So I found those mentors. And I had the honor of teaching many chemistry classes to freshman chemistry students because I didn't want to teach upper division chemistry. I wanted to teach freshmen in college, where you all will be in 3 months, right? And make it fun, and make it exciting, and make it something that you'd be totally and deeply, deeply passionate about. When I taught chemistry classes, I learned that my students didn't like to speak chemistry the way I did. They wanted to see things presented on boards, and I wanted me to point to things and show little video animations. They were all sighted students that I had. And I realized that maybe teaching chemistry isn't right, but I always had the heart of a teacher. So I jumped in headfirst to starting my own company with my amazing business partner and now life partner, Justin Blandingham, who's here with us today. We started our first company, Wetland Group. It was hard at first. We hung our own shingle, hosting truly blindfolded wine experiences, and designing a lot of products in the food and beverage world because I'm a food and beverage sensory expert. And I knew this was a passion of mine. And what I did is I channeled my teaching into the workspace so I could run out there and do whatever I wanted to do as a teacher, with the heart of a teacher, but teaching people about food and drink, and flavor, and aroma, and sound, and texture. And to this day, I'm able to use my organic chemistry whenever I go into the lab and develop products. My favorite thing, though, are people. People around me who I can inspire, who I can get excited to do what they know and love and want to do in this world. And I hope that through our chat today, you feel like you're ready to go forth in all the amazing speeches we've heard today. You're able to go forth and conquer and do your thing. And I want you to take a minute, 10 seconds of silence right now. I told you a lot of people, my parents, my teachers, and now my amazing business mentors. I would not be where I am today if it weren't for my mentors. So I want you to think about the people who have loved you to where you are today and guided you to where they are today. Take a second. Graduates, you got them? I want you to take that list and ingrain it as everybody who's helped you get from early childhood and birth to graduating high school. Those are your mentors, and they deserve to be thanked. Thank them now. Thank them tomorrow. Thank them whenever you think of them, and thank them 20 years from now. Because then they hear how they've been able to transform and change your life will mean the world to them. I'm still in touch with many of my middle school and high school teachers, and I love the opportunity that I get to connect with them and converse with them and make things happen. I designed a chemistry camp for blind and low vision high school students back in 2011 because I realized that a lot of students were not getting the chemical education, the science education they could because nobody believed they could do it. We held 6 successful chemistry camps and now do them a lot today on a more consultant basis. In fact, we're going to be in Miss Owen's classroom on Monday with a lot of high schoolers doing some really fun chemistry. Why did I do this? Well, I think chemistry is great. I think it's fun. But the real reason I did this is because I saw that society didn't believe that blind and low vision folks could go out there on our own and do what we want to do. Never let people tell you no. You know what is best for you. You know what you want to do. People think they know, and you need to know deep down well enough and be confident enough that you can vouch for yourself and push for yourself. And no matter what it is, never let anybody tell you no. But at the same time, as you're doing that, and you're going through that, remember that it's all about being positive and treating the people around you who help you and who believe in you, and even those who don't, with a positive attitude. My approach to everything related to getting accommodations and living in this sided world that we live in independently and productively and proactively, my motto is educate, don't litigate. I think that's the most important thing that we can think about, is that because of who we are and what we have to deal with as blind folks, it is our job to educate society about what works best for us and how we can move through the life that we live. So educate, don't litigate. I love what Gabe said about resilience. Boy, you guys are resilient. You started in 2021 in high school when COVID was not yet done yet. And look at what you've done, graduates, in the past 4 years. Never lose that sense of resilience. You may fall on your feet. You may fall on your face. You may fall in any way. But remember to get right back up and keep going and keep pushing and keep trying in every way, shape, or form. Finally, never be afraid to take challenges. Think about your capstone project and how good that felt when it was over. How much fun you might have had while doing it, but it was a big challenge. And when you succeed at a challenge, the endorphins, the high, the positivity that you feel is absolutely infectious. So I never want you to forget about taking challenges. My 5 mindsets for taking on challenges and winning are as follows. Number 1, believe in yourself. The only person you have to believe in this world is you. You can do it. And as long as you're delivering your personal best, you are believing in yourself. Number 2, don't compare yourself to others. I learned this the hard way by comparing myself to people who I thought were smarter and better than me. And in doing so, I never felt good about myself. It was scary. I've also seen folks around me compare themselves to people who they think are lesser, and that makes them arrogant and cocky and not modest. That's not productive either. Compare yourself to you. Believe in yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. The third one is the most important. Look at a challenge like a mountain, because a lot of challenges feel huge like mountains, and then break them into bite-sized, small morsels. When I got into graduate school and started my PhD, it felt so scary and like such a daunting task that I was jumping into. I thought, how am I going to do this? So I have 6 years and so much research and learning to do between now and when I earn my PhD. I said, let me do what I've always done and break it down into small, bite-sized pieces. The first class period, the first problem set, the first quarter, the first year. And before I knew it, I had a 967-page dissertation written and it was over. It was done. Break every challenge into bite-sized pieces and you will do it. Number 4, be consistent in everything you do. If you find something that you want to push yourself to do, or you find something that you like, keep doing it over and over. I'm on social media now and I've got a following. The only reason I have a following is because I had to be consistent every day. And lastly, don't be afraid to fail. That F word can be a scary word. But when you fail, get right back up on your feet and keep on fighting. And you, with these 5 modalities and 5 mindsets, parents, teachers, adults, kids, students, anyone in this room, we all can and should use these. So we've talked about how WSSB has shaped you. We've talked about the need for resilience. The other thing we talked about is the need to take on challenges, the need to find mentors, and also, the most important one along with those mentors is the need to foster meaningful relationships. In this world, it is not who you know, what you know, it is who you know. Most importantly, you remember, no matter what you do, be optimistic. Optimism gives us joy in the most seemingly upsetting and frankly depressing times. Optimism will keep you going, and that positive attitude and keeping your head high will be the ticket to success. But if there's anything you remember from my remarks today, it is these 3 things. Number 1, you are not alone in this world. Just because you're graduating and stepping out of high school, there is a world of people, myself, I'm putting myself out there as someone who is your biggest cheerleader and supporter. Reach out to me, don't be strangers, but myself and everybody here who's on staff at WSSB, your parents, your families, everybody around you, you are not alone. Number 2, you are enough. If you deliver your personal best every time, you are enough. Don't forget that. You don't need to be anything more than your personal best. You are enough. And finally, we are all, every single one of us in this room is amazing. What I want you to do over these next several years of life is, you might already have an inkling of what it is. Find your superpower and dig into that superpower in everything you do, in everything you take on in life. Focus on your superpower, on what you do that's amazing, and you will succeed. Thank you so much, and congratulations to the class of 2045. Go Lions!
At this time, we'd like to show a senior slideshow. Cue the lights.
Woo, slides.
white letters across the middle of the graphic of a yellow and green lion state the words, Washington State School for the Blind presents the class of 2025.
Hi, my name is Eric Gallagher and I'm from Sunnyside, Washington.
Two photos featuring a young Eric. The first focuses on his face, humorously painted with blue marker, resembling a beard and dramatic eyebrows. The second photograph captures Eric proudly smiling while holding a colorful Lego creation.
My favorite memory would probably be being able to participate in sports here and at Hudson's Bay with swim, goalball, and powerlifting being in a team aspect.
A photograph depicting Eric and a couple of people in thematic in Halloween costumes.
What I see myself in 10 years is being a special education teacher or any sort of teacher and being in social work and getting my adaptive physical education degrees.
Three photographs showcase the multifaceted life of a young Eric, depicted in outdoor and indoor moments, emphasizing diverse aspects of his daily life: relaxation, independence, and creativity.
What advice I would give to my freshman self is the skills that you know now, you'll grow every day, and each year you'll gain on that knowledge.
Eric stands on a sandy beach holding a guide dog's harness. The ocean waves are visible in the background under an overcast sky. Eric sits in a car with the dog resting its head on his lap. The car is parked and Eric appears relaxed and content.
My bucket list item for after graduation would probably be to travel the world and be able to go in the cockpit of airplanes and fly in one.
Eric, dressed in formal attire, stands in front of an elaborate aquarium backdrop.
What I hope my legacy is that I leave behind is that no matter what your challenges is, you can still do things like that you want to do, such as sports, music, and accomplish all your hopes, dreams, and desires.
My name is Jake Cahill, and I'm from Olympia, Washington.
A young Jake with a joyful expression, leaning back with arms behind his head.
My plan for after high school is to go to college for at least 4 years and get a job. And in college, I would like to get a degree in psychology.
A close-up color photograph of young Jake with glasses making a playful face.
My favorite memory from high school at WSSB is probably my first prom.
Young Jake in two different contexts. One picture is taken outdoors with him looking curiously at the camera, while the other is set indoors, where he stands gripping his backpack straps, seemingly preparing for school.
One musician I would love to meet one day is Alanis Morissette.
Two photos side by side. On the left, a young Jake is joyfully interacting with Mickey Mouse. On the right, Jake smiles outdoors wearing themed Mickey headgear. A more current photo of Jake, dressed in a beige hoodie, stands before a vibrant Halloween backdrop. In another photo, Jake, in a blue t-shirt, sits against a love-themed backdrop adorned with heart decorations.
The person that inspired me most while at WSSB is one of my first O&M teachers, Ashley Woodruff, who inspired me to look more into the career of teaching, which is still a career I sometimes consider today.
Hello everyone, my name is Tori Eastman, and I am from Vancouver, Washington.
On the left, we have a serene depiction of a newborn baby Tori asleep, while the image on the right shows the same baby a bit older, wide awake and in a moment of joyful excitement.
My favorite memory here at WSSB is prom last year as a junior in high school. This is because it was my first ever prom and it was super exciting.
One image reveals a heartwarming moment where two toddlers are nestled together in a polka-dotted chair, while the other image displays Tori as a toddler enjoying a splash in a small inflatable pool.
Next, I would like to give a shout out to one of my best friends here at WSSB, which has to be Maggie. The reason why I believe Maggie deserves this shout out is because she has been an amazing friend for all the years that I have known her, and she always makes me smile.
A a juxtaposition of two photographs, a color photograph of Tori playing softball and a black and white photograph of Tori by the water.
One thing that I will miss about WSSB is hanging out with my friends. Over the years, I have made many friends and lost many friends, but I will definitely miss hanging out with them and seeing them every day.
Tori stands in front of a sign that reads Boddington Memorial Gardens, in front of Old Main.
One of my funniest memories here at WSSB has to be back in 6th grade in 2019 when me and my mom, Juliana, went cross-country skiing for the first time for one of the recreation activities. And I kept falling on my skis just because it was my first time. And yeah, that's really the funny memory.
An outdoor portrait of Tori features them smiling, wearing glasses, dressed in a light-colored shirt.
Some advice I would give to my freshman self would be definitely never give up. Make friends that make you happy and not friends who tell you what they want you to do, because I've made that mistake. And definitely just be yourself.
I'm Fireball, and I'm from Barron, Washington.
Delana, with a thoughtful pose, is seated on a green couch against a background full of red and white heart decorations. Two side-by-side photographs showcase Delana as Freddy Krueger and Cindy dressed in Halloween costumes against a vibrant, festive background. Amidst an indoor archery session, Delana prepares to shoot an arrow with guidance from an older man, surrounded by other participants. Delana and Sadie sit side by side on the base of a lion statue with their arms wrapped around each other. Delana, wearing an elegant black outfit and headphones, standing against a detailed underwater background.
Hi, I'm Charles Johnson from Vancouver, Washington.
A close-up of a smiling baby Charles with light blonde hair dressed in a blue sweater.
My plans after high school are to finish up at Clark College, where I will get my AA Associates of Arts before transferring to Western Washington University, and then hopefully on to law school.
Charles in a cheerful Halloween setting, while the right image captures him standing triumphantly on a pile of hay under a bright blue sky. Charles in mid-butterfly stroke, with his arms extended and face down towards the water. Charles and Secretary of State Steve Hobbs, both in formal suits, standing closely together, smiling at the camera. Charles is proudly showing a glass award. Smiling Charles stands against a brick wall with his bright black and yellow jacket.
I will now be doing my senior quote. It is by Stephen Hawking. It is, "Be curious, be brave, be determined."
Hi, my name is Gabe, and I'm from Tacoma, Washington.
A young Dave stands confidently in front of a serene fountain and lush greenery.
I've been a little bit incredulous to graduate, if I'm totally honest, but I'm excited to start this new chapter of my life.
Gabe in a vibrant green t-shirt seated outdoors with a thoughtful expression on his face.
Ooh, a favorite memory of mine is probably junior year. We were having just this massive snowstorm. Everything was just a sheet of ice. We hadn't gone to school one day out of the entire week that we were there. And to start off the day, Miss Melissa actually came in and made us cookies, which was really cool.
Young Gabe seated with an acoustic guitar. His intense gaze and the detailed texture of the instrument stand out against the simple, light-toned background.
And then we got the news from the big higher-ups in the residential team that we were going home, and everyone just erupts and goes, "We're going home!" and starts banging on the walls and just causing havoc, but it was just an awesome thing to see overall.
Young Gabe sitting on a cooler with an older gentleman, smiling from ear to ear, holding a fish twice his size.
I'd have to say that one of the most important things that I've learned from being here at WSSB over these last few years is that it's okay to walk around with your cane. It's okay to be the blind person sometimes. I was a very prideful student back in the day. I didn't even want to use my cane in the first place.
Created with a playful, heart-themed background, hinting at a festive or affectionate setting. His expression exudes happiness and joy.
And now it's all decorated. It's okay to be yourself. That's probably one of my biggest takeaways from being here.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth and I am from Federal Way, Washington.
Lizbeth riding as a stoker on a tandem bike on a sunny day in a suburban neighborhood.
One of my favorite memories of high school was hanging out with friends.
Lizbeth and Molly walk along a paved park path surrounded by greenery.
One of the things I will miss from school is the sound of the water fountain near Old Main.
Lizbeth with a gentle, inviting smile. She is posed against a deep blue textured backdrop.
One of the things I've learned over these years has been to have confidence on myself and to advocate for what I need.
Dressed distinctively, Lizbeth and a friend standing in front of a vibrant, underwater-themed backdrop.
Thanks to my family and friends and to everyone else who has supported me all these years.
Hello, my name is Vivian and I'm from Bothell, Washington.
Vivian and Molly smile warmly at the camera. They hold large, heart-shaped decorations and sit against a backdrop filled with smaller hearts.
One of my favorite high school memory is doing all sorts of recreation activities.
Vivian plays a keyboard on a stage with a band. Vivian, dressed in a whimsical royal costume, stands against a brightly decorated Halloween-themed backdrop.
After graduation, I am planning to return to WSSB as a volunteer.
Vivian stands against an underwater-themed backdrop, smiling warmly and posing for the pic.
Over the years, I've learned independent living skills and created life-lasting connections. I'm Sadie Stevens from Battleground.
The left image shows Sadie smiling, holding a pink toy, while the right image depicts her wearing a red paper hat, appearing happy. Sadie, smiling broadly, seems to be caught mid-laughter. Her long blonde hair is swept sideways, adding a sense of motion to the image. Sadie in distinctly different environments, a lively indoor store interacting with a dog, and a serene outdoor landscape amid tall trees and greenery. Sadie stands on a rocky terrain at the water's edge. Numerous seagulls populate the mud flats, leading to calm blue waters.
Hi, my name is Philip Zelikov, and I'm from Vancouver, Washington.
This image captures a poignant moment between an older man and a young Philip in a cozy, intimate family setting.
My favorite thing about WSSB is being able to be around wonderful students and staff at WSSB and having the opportunity to graduate and move on with my life.
A younger Philip is sitting at an electronic keyboard, seemingly about to play music.
Where I see myself after graduation, I see myself going into work, and I will also like to study into trading stocks, trading crypto, so I'll be learning about that, and also going into working that and doing that full time.
Philip, with a contemplative expression, captured in a moment of reflection.
The teachers that I would like to point out that really had an impact on me is Carmina Arrington and Taylor. They have helped me a lot during the school year, helping me graduate.
Philip, standing in front of a modern, shiny sports car and a black motorbike, extends his arms upwards, gesturing peace signs.
I'll also like to point out the office ladies, very helpful to me, and also Miss Langley and Mr. McCormick. I'll give you a great thanks.
Posing with his left hand raised to display a watch, Philip stands against a backdrop of blossoming trees.
And I can't forget about all my class teachers, Angela, Jerry, Mr. Benfield. I appreciate you all, Mr. Trimble. I appreciate you all for all your support and all your help that you have done throughout my years at WSSB.
White letters across a black background read WSSB, Class of 2025. Each student's class photo is depicted in a collage. You've grown, you've soared, you've made us proud. The world lies ahead, but your roots are here, forever a WSSB Lion.
It is that time. Board of Trustees, staff, students, families, and all of our guests, it gives me great pleasure to affirm that the students graduating this day met the requirements of their prescribed course of study at the Washington State School for the Blind.
As we call your name, please come up on stage to receive your diplomas. From Sunnyside, Washington, Eric Alanese.
Congratulations, Eric. Shake your hand. Say this. All right, face the audience. All right.
From Olympia, Washington, Jake Cahill. From Vancouver, Washington, Tori Eastman.
Congratulations.
From Barron, Washington, Elena Feigenbaum. From Vancouver, Washington, Charles Johnson. From Tacoma, Washington, Gabe Maduro.
Face the crowd.
Congratulations, bud.
Thank you so much.
From Federal Way, Washington, Elizabeth Visa. From Bothell, Washington, Vivian on seat. From Battleground, Washington, Sadie Stevens.
Before departing WSSB, it is our practice to have our students come back for another year. No, just kidding. Okay, all seriousness, all right? Our part is done. It is our tradition to have you enter the courtyard and ring the bell for every year you've attended WSSB. Afterwards, we'll have a handshake reception with some cookies and punch. Good! You know where priorities are? I can't tell you how much we appreciate everyone for joining us today to celebrate these wonderful individuals. Thank you. We're not done. One last important task. You all know what it is, right? Okay, seniors, please stand and get ready to move your tassels. This is a symbol of crossing over to the next stage in your life. I present to you the class of 2025.